My sister said, siblings are supposed to share stuff and you never do. Laura sat down on my bed without asking, messing up my neat piles. You're so selfish. You never let me borrow your car. You won't share your clothes. We live in the same house and you act like a stranger. I kept folding because I knew if I looked at her, I'd say something I'd regret. That's because you never ask. You just take, I said. Family shouldn't have to ask, she said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. I told Mom and Dad. They agree you're too protective. She stood up with this smug look that made my blood boil. From now on, family shares everything. That's how it's going to be in this house. I finally looked at her and smiled, which seemed to surprise her. You're absolutely right, Laura. Family shares everything. Her whole face lit up like she'd won the lottery. Finally, see? That wasn't so hard. She walked out already looking at my jacket on the chair like it was hers. She had no idea what she'd just started. Laura didn't waste any time. The next morning, I woke up and my car keys were gone from the hook by the door. She'd taken them while I was sleeping. I had a job interview that morning that I'd been preparing for all week. By the time I realized what happened, she was long gone. I called the interviewer trying to reschedule, but they told me they'd already filled the position. A few days later, I was working on a freelance project when Laura walked into my room and grabbed my laptop off my desk. Just borrowing, she said with this fake, cheerful voice. I followed her to her room, but she locked the door in my face. I lost that client and $500. But then she did something I couldn't believe. I'd left my wallet on my dresser for maybe 5 minutes while I took a shower. When I came back, my credit card was gone. An hour later, I got a notification on my phone. $300 at Ticketmaster. She'd bought concert tickets for her and her friends with my money. When I confronted her, she just shrugged. Family shares money too, she said. Mom walked by and heard everything but didn't say a word. That's when I decided to start borrowing back. Laura had been talking about her anniversary dinner for weeks. I waited until that afternoon and took her red dress, the one she'd bought specifically for the dinner. When she came to my room completely frantic, I just said, should have thought of that. She had to wear something else and her boyfriend kept asking about the special dress she'd been talking about. Her internship presentation was the next target. The night before her big presentation, I took her laptop and brought it to the living room. Need it for Netflix, I said. Mom walked by while Laura was literally begging me for it back. You said family shares everything, Mom reminded her. Laura's face went white. She stayed up all night trying to redo everything on her phone and looked exhausted during her presentation the next day. Then I started taking her car when she was at work. Just left her stranded. She had to pay for Ubers to get home every single day. After 2 weeks, she'd spent exactly what she stole from me. When she complained at dinner, even Dad looked at her and said, this was your idea. Her friends started asking questions. Her boyfriend was getting frustrated with all the drama. Her boss made comments about her being tired all the time. I watched it all happen and felt zero guilt. Laura was losing it. She tried getting into my room every day, but I'd locked the door. Mom and Dad fought every night about the situation. Laura kept asking them to make me stop. She agreed to share, they'd say. She'd storm off to her room. Then one morning, she cornered me in the kitchen. You've spent $300 of my money on Ubers, she said. The same amount you stole from me, I said. That's different. How? She couldn't answer. You took my savings, cost me jobs, called me selfish. She slammed her hand on the counter. Fine. What do you want? Admit what you did. At dinner, in front of everyone. Her face went pale. That's humiliating. Like calling me selfish was humiliating. She stared at me. If I do it, we stop this? We stop this, I said. Later, she talked to our parents. I have something to say. Mom and Dad looked up. I stole money from my sister, took her things, cost her jobs, then called her selfish. Dad's fork dropped. I was wrong. She's not selfish. Dad cleared his throat. You're paying her back. Already did, Laura said quietly, sliding $300 across the table. I took it and stood up.